Man.
We're going live.
Ooh, kids.
That's right. We're not even doing no intros right now. We're just talking shit, getting clicks. It's like a pregame. We're straight live right now as you speak. We probably have 0.5 viewers going on right now.
We'll take them. We'll take
We'll
it.
take
the
we'll
half.
take our fractionals. We're gonna take our fractionals definitely. So I'm sitting here lurking on your Facebook. You have many pictures here. We got 35 mutual friends. Let's go into that. Let's go into our mutuals.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, Amanda Nachatom.
Oh, Amanda, I love her so much. I only get to see her whenever we have like a reunion, which is, it's like, what, 10 years?
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
I know this is awkward, but ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching or listening right now, we are Talking Shit, Getting Clicks, Me episodes, and we are lucky to have with us Dr. Stephanie M. Wright. M stands for Maniac. Say what's up, Steph.
Yo.
So,
thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
No doubt. Thank you for being here. So I think what I was telling you like earlier, like when I first started doing this show, I don't know where it's gonna go. I still don't know where it's gonna go. But I wanted to do interviews, and I was like, oh my God, I want to interview somebody. And you always I want to interview Jay-Z and Beyonce and Rihanna, definitely Rihanna. But I'm like looking through my friends list, and I'm like, yo, damn, I have so many smart, wonderful, talented people that I grew up with. Why not reach out to them and say, hey, come on my show. Let's entertain and educate the people.
Yeah. Big that.
That's right. Sometimes I know.
You be knowing.
I be knowing. All right, so we're going through your Facebook right now. We are.
I should be concerned.
I don't have it up on the screen, but you shouldn't be concerned. I mean, it looks pretty tame. All right, so no, guys, I lied to you. The M does not stand for Maniac. It stands for Marie. How do you feel about your middle name?
Yeah, it does. I love my middle name. And I love my middle name because I found out that my maternal grandmother gave me that name. And even though she passed on a long time ago, she's always with me. So, like, that's why I'm like, if you ever write my name, you better add my M because that's also me representing my grandmother.
Aww. We love it. What was her name?
Mary Catherine Jackson.
Mary Catherine Jackson. First class ladies, guys. Let the children sing.
Yes.
All right, so we're going through mutual friends. Amanda Nachatom, you said you haven't seen her in a minute. I remember in high school, I told Amanda that I was going to be a bum in math class. I told her I was going to be a bum. Right? And then I saw her, the next time I saw her.
Yeah, that didn't work out for you.
I was taking some classes on Cumberland County in Vineland, and I saw her walking up. She was teaching, but I wasn't going there to teach. I was going there to learn. You know what I mean? Lifelong learner.
Love it.
Lifelong learner. I'm never gonna stop learning.
That's what it is.
I put my hat on.
You should not.
My head's shiny. So people who used to know me, Stephanie, you knew. How was my head of hair back in the day? Let the people know.
You had a full head of hair.
I had a full head of hair. Did it look like?
You got some waves?
I did. I had 360s, no brushing, no caps, no DAX.
Yeah, you was kind of cool. I thought you were too cool to like hang out with me.
Really?
Yeah.
No, like I'm really honestly, like I'm really aloof. I like to just play stupid, and people take it as being like kind of snobby, but I'm not snobby at all. I'm just I have social anxiety. You know what I mean?
Ah, okay.
I don't like
No,
being
that
around
makes sense.
people,
That makes sense.
right? I can't
Yeah, and I'm
stand
socially
people.
awkward, so I guess it all just like it doesn't connect.
Really? I thought you were pretty outgoing person.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, I was faking it, dude. I was faking
yeah, me too. See, there we go.
it.
Like even now, if I tell people I like them,
Now,
I'm sorry, guys. If I tell you I like you now, I probably do, but it's really not that serious. All right, what's going on here? Somebody's beeping my phone. All right, Steph, let me give it to these guys. All right, the call in live is 313-825-5557. Don't worry, if you're in queue, hang in queue. I definitely get to all my callers. All right, so Dr. Wright, I just put out a show
yeah.
called HB See You Later, the story of Deion Sanders leaving historically black college of Jackson State University in Mississippi to take a $30 million payday in Colorado to go coach in the
Yeah.
Pac-12 division.
Yeah. You got some gems in that one too.
Did I really? Thank you. Anything particular that
I
comes to
was
mind?
like, oh. One, I was like, I'm gonna argue with you about saying non-HBCU. So we'll argue
Instead of
about that later.
PWIs?
But
Oh, we don't have
it's
to
like
argue.
let's call it what it is.
Well, true. All right, so you're absolutely right. We can call it PWIs, which is predominantly white institutions, right? I think I said in the show primary,
Right.
but it would be predominantly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't
And
really.
so,
What happens at the end of the day is that we obviously need to talk about race in America. I am of the feeling that we're never ever going to have that conversation. I'm kind of cynical about that. We're never going to have that conversation. And then I use the non-HBCUs because you know what? I tried to put myself in the shoes, and this is going to blow your mind. This is going to blow everybody's mind. One time, I tried to put myself in the shoes of the white man. Dr. Wright, does that make sense? Have you heard of anybody ever trying to put their shoes, their feet in the shoes of the white man?
Absolutely not.
All right, but that's what I did. I was like, listen, let me act like, and I did it from the perspective of I'm looking through social media and I'm looking at everybody has an issue with white man, rich white man, poor dirty white man, right wing January 6th shooter white man, white women. Nobody likes the black man. I mean, nobody likes the white man. I made a Freudian slip right there, guys. But yeah, the white man gets a whole bunch of stuff. He gets a lot of guff. And I'm not talking about the Bill Gates white man. I'm not even talking about, a city solicitor or anything like that. I'm just talking about a normal ass white dude that, works at Chipotle and Ubers on the side and just gets hated because of his white skin. And I want to be a little gentler to everybody. And I thought using non-HBCU would be a little bit gentler than using predominantly white institution. Because sometimes I could understand the other side is, once they hear that, they kind of get tuned out and it feels like they're being poked and prodded. So that was my reasoning behind it.
But that's their problem, though, right? Like, that's their sensitivity. I mean, calling it predominantly white is just calling it what it is. If your demographics is 58% folks who identify as white, and the other 42% is, a variety of different, races, right? Then you're predominantly white. It's just using the stats to define you.
Right. Do you think that maybe one day we'll call it something different other than predominantly white? Like we'll call it mostly Caucasian or something like that. It's just like some type of fill-in for the word, like how we go from Negro to Black to African American. Like, we kind of change words up every couple of years.
Yeah, it's already happening though, right? So here's what's occurring. Predominantly white institutions want grant money, right? If we go back to thinking about how Black folks started to even enter into these white institutions that were not built for us, it's because the feds were like, we're integrating, and so if you want to keep getting this money, you're going to have to let them into these doors. That's how they were able to. That's why they opened the doors to us. It wasn't because they just had a big heart one day.
Right, definitely.
So even now, as we look at, our population continues to grow, and so you have predominantly white institutions now attempting to categorize themselves as Hispanic serving institutions because they have like a 25% Hispanic student population, but 60% is still white. Like, you're technically still a white school because because you have the demographics doesn't mean that your services are actually serving that student population.
So hold on. You're saying that predominantly white institutions who may have a Hispanic population of 25% are applying for grants and saying that their institution is primarily Hispanic?
Right. So if you had if you have a certain percentage of folks who identify as Hispanic, you can deem yourself a Hispanic serving institution, and there's funds that come with that.
Oh.
It's the game, right? And this is why random white men get hated on, right? It's the game because let's take it out of the context of education.
Mm-hmm.
Restaurants started hiring differently able individuals because there was a tax write-off with that. Right? They hire veterans because there's a tax write-off with that. It's not that they want to. They see the greed and the benefits of it, and so they do it, but they don't actually change their system or their policies or process and culture to make sure that it's supportive of that, those individuals that you just added to your company, to your institution. It's all about the money.
Got to follow the money.
And look at Deion. Right. It's, as you said, it must be the money, right? Deion made a whole song about it. So
that was one part of it. But you could also, all right, first of all, you give beautiful information. I'm hitting wrong buttons here. That's not good. Let's give some applause. Straight up, let the children sing. Dr. Stephanie M. Wright is here, blessing us with good knowledge, telling us to follow the money. So, in saying that, could we fix the United States of America and then the world by just updating some tax codes?
I don't know. I'm not a tax code, but
if we get to the right ones,
we could do some things. If we could Robin Hood this and take from the rich, that 1%, and actually infuse that money into the poor, right, the lower class, the lower middle class, this could look different. But that and that will require some tax codes to change. But it requires a lot more, right? Like, it's a whole systems thing that we'll be here all night and having to pull out books and Google and all that to make sure we got our facts right.
Definitely. I mean, I'm ready. Whatever we got to do to save the world, let's do it. I am here for it. I am here for the world. But yeah, all right. So basically, Mo3 Times must stop being soft, and just give them the hard, cold truth. No sugar, just straight medicine. So we're not going to go with non-HBCUs. I wish I had the link to that article when they use non-HBCUs, because I'm going to tell you what, Dr. Wright, it was a black web publication. It was a black web publication who did that to us. But you know what? I'm glad that but you said it straight. You gave the reasoning, and it sounds straight up, solid to me. But,
Yeah, I mean, people change names all the time, right? Like, and that's fine. But I'm gonna stand on what I said, and I'm gonna stand on it until the end of time.
I love it.
I don't let people get off easy. That's not who I am.
Hmm. That's interesting. I think we're gonna have to take it from education to. I have to ask, what's your birthday? You don't have to give me the year.
July 29th, Leo.
That's a Leo, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, Leo.
That's what you are. You guys are bosses. You guys are
That's
leaders,
right.
are leaders, and all eyes on you. And I don't believe in that astrology, smology, but I mean when you see it, the proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean? That's what you are. You're a lion.
Yeah,
You're a lion.
I am.
Oh. So tell the show a little bit about yourself. How did you get your how did you get the DR? How did you get that DR dot? Tell them
Yeah,
about the blood,
yeah,
sweat, and tears.
pretty much just I never wanted this for myself really, but you know, if I take it back, I talked about this with some folks before. If I think back to like being 19 years old in college, not really wanting to be there, I had an EOS advisor who always called me Dr. Wright. So like planted that seed. And then I had someone who was supporting me on my professional journey and was like, you need to go and get your terminal degree before you turn 40 so that you can like elevate, right? Make the money you want, have the titles you want, and make the change that you want. And so I pursued it. I pursued organizational leadership. So I have a EDD in organizational leadership, just
Okay.
finished. And I'm just going to try to use what I've learned and now this title to just like shake things up, change the world a bit.
Shake up the world. Shake up the world. That's what you got to do. So all right.
Yeah, man.
So you put in the work, shaking up the world. What's your current occupation? What are you working on right now?
Yeah. Currently, I work in higher education at a predominantly white institution, and I am the director of community standard. So basically, as I call it, like the principal of college. So whenever the students are messing up, they get to come to my office and meet with either myself or my team and get a little bit straightening.
Just a little bit of straightening. And what kind of issues
Just
can
a
you
little.
see? What does it range from? Like somebody stealing, smacking somebody to I would think probably like date rape, right? I don't think I can say that
Yeah,
live.
like I've seen like sexual misconduct,
There you go.
sexual assault, relationship violence, stuff like that. Those are the terms used, but I've seen like from smaller things like I'm 18 and for the first time I've had alcohol and that didn't go well, so I'm vomiting right in the residence hall or at somebody's bus stop. To um, you know, I've had cases with folks like drug dealers like get caught um, selling drugs on campus. I've had to deal with like attempted murder.
Oh
You
wow.
name it, I've seen it. Um, and then I mean there's some other things like a fight. Those things happen dealing with organizations who may engage in like hazing activities and stuff like that. So I've seen a wide range of things.
New episode.
Right. Oh my bad. So wow, you've seen it all, like to attempted murder, and then like I guess the parents get involved. And have you ever seen like a parent come up to school and like whip their kid's ass?
No, no. I've seen parents come and either like be in that space looking at their student like, if you don't tell the truth, I'm gonna hurt you in the car. I'm not gonna do it in front of these people, kind of thing.
Right.
I've also seen a parent who don't believe that their child could ever do anything wrong, and so they come in and they want to argue with me. The best thing about this is that you're a student. I don't have to
I'm sorry.
talk to you, so you can be quiet in my space and you can get out. And I love having that authority.
Okay. I like it. There we go. Now everybody got to see. Nobody can see this live. Did you know that? Nobody could see it.
What?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Whole 20 minutes in, and now they're just getting to see. Yeah. Yeah, check this out.
They can run it back, run it back.
Dr. Wright, I'm gonna put flashback on. If you've ever watched the show, he's he calls every episode, and we might share the same nose.
Okay.
You trying to
We might
punch
look
me?
alike. We might look alike. Flashback, Thunlight Productions. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, what's up?
What's going
Just
on?
getting in.
Oh,
Just-
you haven't even heard
Hey.
anything. Yo, right now, let me
Nah.
clue you in, flashback. Right now, we are on with Dr. Stephanie M. Wright. She's a student accountability sheriff at a predominantly white institution. We're not going to say non-HBCU because we're going to let them know that they are predominantly white institutions. Ain't that right, Dr. Wright?
That is correct. Don't call it what it is.
That's right. And Papa, let me tell you what, Dr. Wright graduated with me from Violin High School, right? 2000, I want to say 2005, but it was really 1999, last of the millennium, best of the millennium, something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Out of the neighborhood.
You know?
Beautiful.
She claims Bridgeton, though,
Yeah, I'm
for some
looking
reason.
at Yes, sir.
Never mind, go ahead, Pops.
No, so I caught a little bit about what you're talking about as far as disciplining kids, or what's the subject? I'm just getting in and defrosting from the outside.
Understood. And plus, we just went live, so let me fill you in. It'll probably be good for everybody who's tuning in right now. So I did a show called HBCU Later. Basically, Deion Sanders leaving Jackson State University for seemingly greener pastures at Boulder, Colorado, University of Colorado. He's going to be a Buffalo now. He's going to the mainstream. And basically, I showed everything that he had to do at Jackson State just to get them to be, a competitive team. And it didn't involve football. Like most coaches go to a school to coach. He went to the school to not only, raise young men and coach them, but also help to rebuild the actual school. And, so that was some of the issues we're talking about. And then Dr. Wright is in education. She's in higher education, and she deals with, day-to-day issues that affect student life on the campus she serves on. And I mean, she's very well versed and very well studied, and she's just learning us a thing or two about everything from how marginalized communities are treated in predominantly white institutions to the words that we use to describe injustices and racism and stuff like that. So we're getting some good work in here. I wish more people were in here, but I appreciate the people that are here. Dr. Wright, did I kind of summarize that correctly?
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So Flash,
you summed that up beautifully.
Right, I try. I'll be listening sometimes.
Well, right now I'm just interesting, and I'd like to hear what Dr. Wright. I'd like to hear what she's inquiring and what's going on now with this generation as far as education. And like if you say that we still live in the time where we kind of still have segregation, to the benefit that I feel more to them, that they get the choice of whether they want to be mixed with minorities or not. So I'm going to just sit back and be a student and listen. And if I have a question that I would like to share with you, Dr. Wright, I just sit back and be a student tonight.
Awesome. Thanks,
All
Flash.
right now, Pop.
So basically, Dr. Wright, I think what he was asking is like, are there any current trends at primary white institutions that may cause harm to um, students of color? Or are there any policies that
I
are helping?
mean,
Like,
there.
yeah, give us a couple policies that are hurting, and maybe some policies that you've seen that are actually helping.
um, well, this first thing I wouldn't even necessarily say is so much a policy, but more of a department, right? And so a lot of these schools have a public safety or with sworn officers, right? Or if they're not sworn officers and you don't have sworn officers on your campus, these are public safety officers who aspire to be. And so the things that we see in the news consistently, we look at black and brown men being, and women being, stopped, killed, beaten, abused by police officers. While it's not that to that extent, you're still experiencing a lot of those different things on that campus from those officers. And so, like, I bring this to folks' attention all the time at the institution I work at now and what I worked at previously, and said, like, the ways in which your police officers are policing students of color is harmful, right? And so, I said this in like my defense, and I continue to say it, but you recruit these students, and then they don't have a safe haven from whatever community they may have come from and those experiences. It's the same thing. You said this earlier in our conversation, like institutions are just microcosms of, the country, and that's true.
Right.
I think it's about, some of the services as well. The policies are written for like organizations and things like that. So I think it's more of the practice that are associated with these policies. And so, like, I deal with the code, right? The code of conduct. And so it's the same code for every student, but the practice along with that may differ for students based on their race. So student A, who's white, student B, who's black, may have done the same exact thing, but the sanction, the punishment, right, for the student that's black is harsher. And, that's where we think about the bias that comes in, and we're just like doing the same stuff that happens outside of the campus. So you have the police, you have like an office like mine who are treating folks right. You have academic services where you may just automatically count those students out as opposed to having strong services to support black and brown students on an educational journey. And that makes me think about something that you said on the earlier show about HBCUs, right? Like they're taking students that other institutions may not want because of their high school GPA, and they are supporting them, feeding them, like not just food, but like knowledge and helping them to grow and develop to be strong individuals within the community and lead these different corporations and things like that, and pouring into them what they can't receive at a predominantly white institution. And we're not set up for that. Like we know, but we don't change anything. And so it stands at predominantly white institutions. It's on offices like your multicultural office or your EOF office, your Educational Opportunity Office, right, TRIO programs, to make sure that those students have the support that they need to graduate. They don't care about the retention.
Right.
So I can't really point out a particular policy, but I could point out practices that I've seen, and those are the things that I go in and challenge in my work every day. So, and that's just, I think that's commonplace.
Yeah. It just seems like really in any institution that people who come from similar backgrounds and even look alike, they're going to treat each other better than people that don't look like them, don't come from similar backgrounds. It's kind of like a curse of humanity, but it seems that, in the way that the United States is currently set up, that it is not an advantage for any person of color, women and, people of color. So when you speak about being I would imagine that being a student accountability officer and having to deal with, issues from students, that you work hand in hand with those school resources officers that you talk about. And then like when you're
Yeah.
speaking, it gives me like that scene. And you remember Higher Learning when they're like, turn the music down. He's like, they're over there blasting their music. He's like, I
Yeah.
dig that music. And then he chokes out Omar Epps later on because he thinks he's the actor, he's a shooter instead of getting Michael Remy.
Yeah.
Remy. So wow, like that is a story that was being told by John Singleton in what, 93, 94? And
Yeah.
here we are 30 years later and it's still ongoing.
Yeah. It's the same thing. And, like I tell people that players have changed, right? But the system hasn't changed. And so if we want this to look different, we have to say, you know what, let's just blow it all up, right? Let's tear it up and start with everybody having a voice in what this looks like. And so, like for myself, when I'm writing policy, I bring in the students. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to bring in faculty members. I'm bringing in staff members. I'm looking at the whole community and making sure this is everybody's point, and try to get as much of that in there as possible, as opposed to me just deciding. And people have a hard time with letting go of that little bit of positional power that they have.
Right.
Make sure that policies are community written and driven, as opposed to whatever your own bias is.
Right. Wow. It's really like it's simple to understand, but it's still so deep. It's really I don't know, at times I feel it's frustrating, like you're exerting extremes amount of energy, and it sometimes it feels like you get stuck and you're not getting anywhere. Do you ever get that feeling?
Yeah, often.
So when you get that feeling,
I
what do
wake
you
up every
do?
day and go to war.
Oh, well then, I mean, so do you ever have times when you're not at war? You know what I mean?
Nah.
Oh wow, you're just
I think
all day.
yeah, I'm just battling all day. I think the downtime, I think when I'm not at war, is when you have those moments when you're in community with some students and there's no care, right? I'm not being a disciplinarian. I'm not, having to talk to them about some negative experience that they had, just laughing with them, right? And like I had one of those experiences today. Like we were talking about they were doing something silly like a bracket, but with Disney movies, right? And so we just started talking about the Disney movies and characters, and that just flourished into a whole other conversation. And so, like that moment, it gives me it re-energizes me to say, like, okay, I can go back in here and I can go tell this person they're racist. I can go tell this person this policy is trash, and I can do that because that's all I need to re-energize me and remind me why I go to war, right? This is my purpose.
I love that. That's pure. Let the children sing. Wow. You're at war and you get your energy from your fellow soldiers. That's right. And the people you're fighting for. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Dr. Wright, you ready to take some calls? Because I got one guy on here. I know who this is. This is O.L. Vago, a.k.a. Richie Revolution. Let's talk to him.
All right.
Yo, who we got today?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear? All right, yeah, because I'm on my podcast doing my thing at the same time. I had to call in. I'm listening to you.
Who?
Hey, Doc. Hey, Dr. Stephanie Wright.
Don't forget her M.
What you doing? I'm gonna applaud you first. What you doing? But you fighting the old fight.
Oh wow, Steph.
You fighting the old fight. Same fight. Yo, it's just,
he wants to smoke.
She's fighting that same fight that we fighting for.
Can you boost up a little bit?
That's what it is, man. It is a fight forever.
You know what it is? You know what I be saying for our people, like we talk about going through how this. They did it to us when I was young. Guys going to school and now being in the position that you're in, you're actually getting the carelessness and the vibe. So firsthand experience from the inside, not from a business, from a person who's coming in and working. But like the problem is like Once when it comes to like finances and schools and everything, so that's just how it happens. If you're not in control of it, you can't dictate somebody else's. Even though they can have the rules set and standards, inside rules, like the corporate rule, and then how the actual staff plays the game is totally different. And we're gonna always have that as long as we keep trying to.
Go for it.
I don't need just find our own way. We didn't just sit down and find our own. We got too many strong people start doing, start reaching out to the and saying, hey, look, this is not gonna change the rule. Always make. They'll give you a rule this year, and then take 6 rules back behind a WAC 100 stand. Why everybody's watching WAC 100? Let's put 6 months back and make themselves functional. And just like the Balenciaga, look how they said that in there.
Right.
So I'm just saying, in the fact that no matter what we're doing, the mindset really is to realize like they're not going to stop it.
So
That's not
basically,
fighting
your solution is we're not fighting anymore. We're picking up, and we are going to our own country.
So we don't have to. This is our country. Like we need to even realize like this is our country.
Right.
This is.
I'm asking that because you said something about like going to UN. You know, it conjures my imagination and think that like
live in America.
that's where I was going with that.
Right. Like the Jews live in America. I'm just using them because of the thing that's going on with Kyrie and the way that they've been. So if they were able to go to the world nations, get down and get their reparations, just making sure that they're taking care of those. All we need to do is collectively come to as a people. I don't care if you're Muslim, if you're Christian, 19 people. So Obama, the leaders, the people that are in the positions with the money and the power that are in our people, don't need to come together. And what's funny, and this is how God works. Seeing that happen. I've lived long enough to see this get played out throughout my life. I'm 46, so I grew up not knowing it when it was happening, growing up and just having it happen to me, and now I'm being older and seeing how it's always been happening. Now you get that awareness. So like I really, my personal belief, like we keep fighting the fight because we got to pay our bills, but we still need a bigger fight. We need a bigger movement. Like we need a bigger movement that's really genuinely made by scholars of our people, not picked by other people. We as people need to pick our scholars and build our own nation within a nation. Like there are so many others. I ain't got that. I knew that. Sound crazy.
Nation of Islam.
Oh, there's so much to respond to. There's so much to respond to.
He's deep with it, right? I mean,
he's deep, but there's so much to respond to. Like I want to challenge a little bit, right? Like,
can we start with one? Let me referee this. So let's start with the fact that I believe the first thing he said that you're fighting a perpetual war. Why are we fighting a perpetual war?
Mm-hmm.
My question?
Right. You said she was fighting a perpetual war. Like, why do we keep fighting this perpetual war? Why don't we just, plead our case to the UN, get our reparations, and build our nation within the nation? Kind of like a more of a separatist type of deal.
This is what I will say. Name a country where Black people are supported, respected, and treated well, right? Like Russia. Because last time I checked, Russia. I ain't going to Russia, bro.
Brittany Griner got sent to the Alcatraz of Siberia.
I'm just letting you know. That's a country, and that's a white country. I can give you a whole bunch of black countries in the land that they call Africa.
Now,
like Liberia, that's made by America.
So, listen, there's not a place, and I'm not saying, here's the other piece, right? We both can be right and wrong at the same time. Like, they can both live at the same time. Black people are aren't treated well anywhere, really. So let's go fight this fight. I don't know how that's going to look. I don't have that information, so I'm not going to speak on stuff that I don't know. But what I do know is I've been that little girl in the system at the age of like 8 years old being told by this white principal that I'm a barbarian. I've been there. Bridgeton, New Jersey, where I grew up, right? I've had that experience. So I've walked through my entire educational experience knowing that white folks saw me as less than. And I had a father who also knew that made sure that I excelled academically because I needed to engage in the education so that I could fight systems. My responsibility is like all of those before me who fought the good fight that moved us forward. Is progress slow as hell? Absolutely. But how do we come together as a people to even go to the UN and fight that fight? We can't agree on the fact that Kanye West is toxic as fuck. Like, we can't even agree on that. We can't even agree that R. Kelly is a pedophile and we shouldn't support him. Y'all still talking about the ignition. Like, y'all, as a people, we can't come together on basic stuff. So how do we come together when it comes to our own rights and pick our leaders? We are becoming our own leaders. The white man didn't pick Tamika D. Mallory, right?
No, they already had a hierarchy already from Caesar to
You gonna let me finish?
To,
you gonna let me finish, or
oh,
you gonna
I'm sorry, I
Kanye?
apologize. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay, right? There are the women, the 3 women who started the Black Lives Matter movement, right? And the organization, like, the white people didn't pick that. That was someone who was in education or at some after school program or something who had their own battles that they fought on the block in their job or whatever and empowered another young mind. And the more of us who become empowered and we place ourselves in positions and we continue to be loud and stay loud and disrupt systems, we will make change. We have come farther now in the past couple of years than we have in a long time. And so we've had laws where we're like, be content. Yes, sir, we've been content. And then get a new generation that's fired up. And we pushed and we pushed. So if you're saying I'm fighting a perpetual fight, yes. But what I do is go in, not just fighting these systems, but empowering these Black and brown children. And then they go out and they go tear it up. And that's the level up. And so is it ever going to change? I don't know. But what's been put on my heart and what God has ordained me to do is this work. And I'm going to follow my purpose-filled life.
Like it. Lago, quick response? Anything?
Yeah. That's response sound real sad. Yeah. You can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, the response sounds real sad and emotional. Sounds like most of the responses out all here. People go out and fight, create something better for the poor, and the poor keep educated enough. So you have to fix the poor because you're only as strong as your weak link. But even saying that, I've never seen the point we was talking about leadership. What leadership haven't they had? When weren't they? When haven't the other people had leadership? Like when were they savages? We know about that beforehand. But at some point they took on the leadership and found a role playing it to be our role. So now we're fighting. My problem is not to fight. Is that we're fighting in the same time, same thing, getting the same result. And every time we get something, hey, look what we got. But then we have to rewrite, we have to re-register what. So the things that we fight for, even like the Black Lives Matter, we're really saying now, yo, look, our lives matter. We went from saying, yo, we want civil rights to going matter. That's the morale of the people that are in the position. That's the type of mindset that's out there. But I can't worry about that. You're gonna always have a negative people. You're gonna have that. And those are the ones that you see in your face because they're being sponsored by who? All of this is sponsored by who? All ran by who? If you know anything about the financial game, you know about the Rockefellers. You know what they said about this story. the school thing is designed for. All this is designed for. They're not teaching people about what's going on today in school. Same old rhetoric that they taught us. Then they do stuff like switching up the math. Like
Right.
you taught us how to do division way simpler than you teach my grandkids. So I'm sitting with my grandkids trying to tell them something as simple as how to do a fraction, and they're arguing with me because I did it in 2 seconds, but the teacher gave them this long formula to figure out, and now they're arguing with me. Not that it's right, but I'm not doing it the way the teacher told me. So now the teacher has more opinion over the parent, right? So, all that being said, it comes down to the mindset of each individual person. But you can't do nothing until you pick up your broken and your poor. You can't. You ain't picking up your broken and your poor. Everyone's coming into school trying to make it into these directions. You said it yourself. You was considered to be a bull, a beast, or whatever you said you were, right? And your parents, your dad was behind you saying you got to get what you get. And guess where you at? You're in their place fighting. Just in their war fighting. I'm saying, why can't we? That's what an entrepreneur.
I agree. I agree with that. We have to take care of our broken and poor. I absolutely agree with you there. And so the other thing is when we're looking at the way that we're empowering our students, then they are able to create these organizations and foundations and figure out stuff that I probably can't figure out right now that can help. Like those are the things that we're doing. We talk about food insecurity, right? Let's talk about hunger and how that impacts student learning and families. Because of folks like myself who can go into these institutions and talk about food insecurity, we create these programs where folks are able to eat. Like we are doing it. It's just not glamorized. It's not on everybody's podcast. It's not on everybody's TV show. It's not on the billboards. Like this stuff is getting done. I can go back to Zelly Thomas out here in Patterson, New Jersey, who has taken Patterson Black Lives Matter, and the stuff that he is doing in Patterson, is amazing. And it's feeding the kids. It's teaching them how to code. It's preparing them to go out into these industries and take over so we can have our own businesses. But somebody like myself had to be in a system to fight for and fight with a person like a Zelly Thomas for him to be able to do what he's doing in Patterson. So it may be, like you said, a perpetual fight, and we fight in the same fight, but there are soldiers that do this work because we know that we are clearing the way for the next person who's going to do it bigger, better, and better. And so kudos to all the educators who ever impacted Zelly Thomas or anybody else who I just don't know who's out there doing it in their city. So you can talk to me all day about the math system, the educational system, taking care of our broken and our poor, and then I'm going to say to you, my brother, but what are you doing? What's your 5-point plan? How are you picking them up?
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I don't know. I just want to say this to the host. When she jumped in and cut me off, because when I cut her off, I apologized and I kept going.
I had to mute him. I'm going to bring you back. And when I bring you back, sir, we're going to need to hear that 5-point plan, okay?
Okay, then here we go. Here we go with thinking, right? In order to have a 5-point plan, you have to have people to sit down and not in their emotions. But what I'm saying is not saying don't stop doing what you're doing. Do what you're doing. I'm not saying King shouldn't have did what he did or Malcolm shouldn't have did what he did. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying while we're doing it, we should focus on a bigger plan. I didn't say that anything you did was wrong and things aren't being accomplished. But we're still going baby steps.
I think that's good.
When people like that can hold you, cut me off. See what's happening again?
Like I'm cutting you off because you're repeating yourself, sir. But somebody asked you about your 5-point plan. Oh Lord, here we go. All right, so what I think is that yes, there's a perpetual war and people are fighting their wars on different fronts. That's it. And some people are making some progress on their front and some people are getting pushed back on their front, but it's a war we have to fight. And if you're in the war and you are making soldiers and you're making soldiers that are not just soldiers but fit to lead, then you're doing something good. You're making progress. That's all. That's all I'm saying. You got to fight the fight. But by all means, Vlago, if you want to be the overseer to come up with the master plan while everybody's fighting their battles and you want to go and, check each little battle site out and formulate a plan off of that, I mean, that sounds good to me. What the children say.
Here's the thing.
Mhm.
If I can just say this, right? A good leader knows when to follow and when to lead. And so if you have all these ideas and you come up with a strong point and it makes sense, if the math, I'll follow you. And I'll be in that war. But you still ain't dropped your plan. So until then, man, I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing over here because this is what God put on my heart to do, and I'm going to do as I'm told by the Lord.
That's what the doctor said. Got some more callers in queue. Talking shit, getting clicks. Me episodes. You are on with Mo 3 times and Dr. Stephanie M. Wright. What's up? Hello? Hello? I need a Dr. Wright. I need a call screener. We got somebody just gets on and just starts laughing at us. That's good. Let's go to our next caller.
It's me.
Talking, getting. What's up?
Hello.
Oh, Lisa, somebody's alive. We don't have the freaky breathers. We don't got no freaky breathers on the line right now. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
Do you know who this is?
This is Queenzilla.
This is Queenzilla.
Queenzilla, you are on my show right now with Dr. Stephanie M. Wright. Have you been watching?
Ooh, hi,
along?
Stephanie. Dr.
Th-
Stephanie.
That's right.
Hello.
The doctor.
Sorry, excuse me.
Hey, Zilla, do you got any
How are you guys?
any good questions? We're getting on
No,
one.
but I wanted to bring some good stuff to the table.
Okay.
So, how do you guys feel about that Russian exchange?
Oh,
Huh?
We're going with Brittany Griner.
We're going with Brittany Griner.
Hey, Queen, let me tell you something about Dr.
Like, is this
Stephanie
like-
Wright. Dr. Stephanie Wright
Okay.
was a point guard, if I'm right. Am I right?
Shooting guard.
Oh wow. She was the Iverson. She was Allen Iverson of our school.
I don't know about that. I tried.
So what are your thoughts about Brittany Griner? And all right, so Queen, hold on. Who was she exactly exchanged for? Because I'm getting two different people. I'm getting the guy that was, that.
Wasn't it for the arms?
The arm still.
That's what I thought.
Victor
Okay.
something, I think his name was.
Yeah. Have you seen that movie Lord of War? Lord of War
I have.
with Nick Cage.
Oh.
It's basically loosely based on his real life.
Oh, okay. Now I gotta watch it.
Yeah, he's an international arms dealer. Like I watched the movie and it was Nick Cage. When they talk about him, only thing I'm doing in my mind is thinking it's Nick Cage. We can exchange Nick Cage for Brittany Griner. But like as it stands, I don't think he was an enemy to anybody. He was an enemy to everybody and an ally to everybody because whoever needed guns for this, and I think we want to, throw him in jail in America. But I'm not going too far on a limb saying that we have used his services before in wars and clandestine type shit. So, I mean, it's just really back to business. He was a big arms dealer, but I'm sure he wasn't the biggest. I'm sure there's people who took his place. Like, he's a corner guy to me. At least we're getting Brittany Griner back and for the WNBA. At least we're getting like our only lady dunker because, damn, the Olympics are coming up. We're going to need her. We're going to need her for the gold medal. I'm making fun of it, but yo, to do 19, to be sent to 9 years in Siberian Alcatraz over, 2 capsules of hashish oil that weren't even full of the hashish. Come on, bro.
Right.
Seriously.
Yeah, Brittany should have been home a long time ago, like point blank period. She never should have been detained in the first place. But
Right.
I'm just thankful that she's home and she can start her healing journey and be in the arms of her wife and do the therapy and whatever else she needs to do. But I wish this would also be like another lesson where if we had pay equity in sports, our women basketball, our women athletes wouldn't need to go to other countries and put themselves in harm's way because they don't get paid enough here. So, like, if you don't get a deal with a Nike or Adidas or whoever else, right, like, you're making, what, $50,000-$60,000 a year. So you're this big star, but you are also considered, like, middle class, lower middle class. Like, that shit's not cool when you have some of these trash players, right, who are very ego-centered, walking around millionaires. It doesn't make sense. So we also need to start having those kind of conversations about pay equity when it comes to women in general, but definitely in, you know, professional sports.
Steph, you don't think that the WNBA is like a charity league though? Like it's like the NBA's UNICEF baby. Have you been to a WNBA
I don't think
game?
that way. Have I?
Yeah.
No, I don't go to sporting events.
All right.
Like, period.
Do you know anybody has been to a WNBA game?
Yes. I worked at an institution where many women who played Division I ball ended up in the WNBA and came back. And so I've met some of these women, right? Like, I've met, like, think about Vivian Coach Stringer. Like, I've met her. I've met players who she's coached who's going on to play in the WNBA, come back. You know, I've seen all of that.
Have you met Dawn Staley? Have you met Dawn Staley?
I don't know who.
Dawn Staley. Can they dunk?
Pardon?
No. Yo, I used to have the biggest crush on Dawn Staley.
On Dawn Staley?
Dawn Staley.
I love me some Dawn Staley.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Look at, we don't shut
What'd
Queen
you
out of
say?
the conversation. Queen, so basically I had so many jokes about Brittany Griner going over to Russia because I'm like, yo, like, she's in the gulag right now. I mean, who's going to fuck with her? She's like 6'8".
Oh my god.
Do you think she ran the block? Like,
In Russia?
yeah, was her commissary
No.
like loaded up? Did she have all the potatoes?
He was the block.
Oh my God, there's Sammy.
Yeah.
That's right, Sammy. Brittany Griner is the block.
Honestly, I hope she did, but because honestly, I couldn't even imagine how hard it was for her.
Yo,
Like, you don't know what happens in Russian prisons.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's hard to say what happened.
they said they
But I
sent her
think
to the
she's
worst of the
gonna
worst.
speak on that now that she's back and she takes that time to heal with her wife. Like, she obviously will speak on it eventually, and we'll know more about what she went through.
Oh,
and
she's
maybe
definitely-
she'll make a book or a documentary. Who knows?
Yo, I would watch a documentary of Brittany Griner.
Oh,
and
I'm
which
sure a
one
lot of people. When Netflix is going to be reaching out to her very shortly
as they should.
and trying to get her
Bro.
a documentary.
She should
For
be
sure,
like,
people will try and make money off of this.
she should be like
Yeah.
smoking a J, telling her story while, you know, hitting her
Yeah.
cans of hashish. Yeah, that's so crazy. Yo, but you know what? In America, people have gone to jail longer for the same amount of work that she got caught
Yeah.
with. So it's amazing. They probably went to better jails though. Not that much better, but
Real.
thanks, Zilla. What's up, Sammy? I want to see you guys soon. We're gonna play some Warzone
Say hi.
or something.
Hi, Lou.
What's going on?
Good.
All right. So yeah, these are our conversations that we have. Dr. Wright, do you have anything in them you wanted to bring up?
No. We talked
No?
about
No
we
issues?
talked about Dion, and I was hoping we would get to Brittany, so we did.
We got the Brittany.
Yeah, that's it.
We got a
yeah.
little Dion in there.
Yeah.
I gotta take another call because I know he's always gonna bring up a good topic. Sir, talking shit, getting clicks. We already know it's Ramid on the phone. It better be.
Brother D,
I'm giving you sound effects because I love you, cuz. What's going on?
well, 3 times. Am I on the line?
Main line.
Hey,
That's
hey,
what's up?
hey, main line is on the line, brother. I just wanted to make a
a comment about what you posted about what you said about Dion.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say this is that there are a lot of great athletes who have played and have outstanding careers, but not many of them can transform their abilities into teaching other players how to become like themselves. So I think in that sense, the job that he's done has been very effective, along with his personality, along with his name, and I think it's that we all have to understand that we do things at the level that we can, and you have to be rewarded for that. I mean, I can understand. He said that God is guiding him and everything. That's fine, but in the real world, it boils down to him getting residuals for his talent. And I just admire the fact that he has that ability to teach, and that's what it boils down to when you're coaching. You have to be able to get people to understand and bring them up to your level of intelligence. And I think that's what he did when he was at Jackson State.
Yeah.
And you have to respect him. You have to respect him because he made it clear, that if another opportunity presented itself, that he would take it. So,
oh yeah.
How can you be upset with that? But the other side of that is that the green-eyed monster or jealousy will always, and envy will always show up, And so though he might have been there a short time and lit his light, then he's moving on. And it's as simple as that. And the only thing that we can hope is that enough attention was drawn to the SWAC conference, things would kind of get better, and hopefully the people who are financing the SWAC conference would be ashamed of themselves enough to try to improve it. So I think that I think in that sense he made his mark.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing. That conference has been chewed up for decades. Dion comes in and in less than 3 years, totally revitalizes that conference. But at the same time, we got to remember that's Deion Sanders. That man played in 2 Super Bowls and a World Series. There aren't too many people in this world that are prime. He's just a special individual. And yeah, we know that the prime thing is for show, but when you see him interacting with those kids, especially at JSU, like that was real. That was very authentic. And even when he was giving his speech to the new kids in Colorado, he was still referencing back to his experiences at Jackson State University. So I think he gained a lot. I mean, maybe not monetarily, he gained a lot from going to Jackson State University, and it was a big opportunity for him. And in turn, he took that opportunity, and like he always says, he's not just going to show up, but he's going to show out. I mean, that man helped out during Mississippi water crisis. Oh my goodness, he helped to revamp the practice facilities that were dilapidated way before he even thought about going over there. He changed so much stuff around, and I really do agree with you that a lot of people are calling him sellout, and they're hurt because they do know that once he leaves that conference and he goes to Colorado, there's nobody's going to pay attention to him. There's not another Dion over there in that conference. They're going to hopefully the money that they got during his run there, that they have invested it wisely. They come up with a plan to revitalize that entire conference. And most of the, historically black colleges that, are their opponents.
Yeah.
And I agree. I agree with you 100%. But again, I think the greatest gift that Dion has is that he's able to teach. And you just don't find that you're great. I'm talking about your exceptional athletes that have been blessed with abundance of talent, and they can't teach other people how to become better football players.
Right.
And yeah, he has the charisma, and I think he he understands that I made my statement, I made my claim here, and it's time for me to move on. One other thing I like to just mention, and I didn't hear all of the doctor's comments, but I did hear the mention about Black Lives Matter a few times, and I would just like to say that organization was started by George Soros, a white guy who lived a natural lifestyle. If you read the mission statement of what Black Lives Matter means, it exclusively directs itself to those people who live the unnatural lifestyle. I don't even know what the LGBT or whatever the hell that is, okay? And if you read their mission...
That's offensive, so I don't know if I can hear anything else you have to say.
Well, I'm just want to make this comment, and I'll listen. But the thing is that we continue to be bamboozled, and getting ourselves involved with things that we don't know about. And that organization, Black Lives Matter, wasn't started because of Black Lives Matter. It was started because a black homosexual was beaten up and had a situation, and then this is where it came in. So what I'm saying is the people who live, I'm not trying to be politically correct. I'm trying to be kind. Who live that unnatural lifestyle, ever since the civil rights and James Baldwin and all of those type of people began, they continue to try to attach themselves to each and every avenue of social order to advance themselves. And it's not
I want to pray for your soul. I want to pray for your soul. I'm cutting you off because everything that's coming out of your mouth is beyond ignorant. Those people, unnatural lifestyles. I am a proud Black lesbian. And so for you to make those comments, you are ignorant, you are rude, and I will pray for your soul because you are the hate that was harmful within the Black community. So I'm done.
Wow. Dr. Wright.
Yeah.
You're still here?
I'm here.
Dr. Wright, I was watching your did you just say you were a lesbian?
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself a lesbian, not bisexual or anything?
No.
Just girls.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was watching The Grown Up Gay and it said that, you like guys, but you don't want to marry them. Remember that?
Men are, I can find men attractive all day. I don't want to sleep with them. I don't want to marry them. Nothing.
Okay, I got you.
Give me a woman.
So, do you ever get, the gentleman just called up, do you ever get, comments like that? Ever?
I mean,
Have you ever
that kind of stuff happens all the time because there's ignorant people in the world, right? Like you look at someone and you call them, oh, you want to be a man? You're this or that. Like you're despicable. You're a disgrace. Like you see the Bible thumpers who stand on the corner and tell everybody they're going to hell, right? Those kind of things. That stuff happens all the time, and it's harmful, right? It's hurtful because you don't live my life. You don't know what I feel on the inside. You don't know the struggles that I've had from the time I realized that I was quote unquote different, right, from other people and how I had to navigate that. You don't know the stress of wondering if you're going to lose your entire family because you love differently, right? That's what folks like to say to make it sound better. So that shit happens all the time when you have individuals who realize that what their physical body represents is not who they actually are, and they transition themselves to have their outside represent who they are inside, and you want to be rude and call them trannies and beat the shit out of them, and those types of things. That shit is harmful, and it happens so often in the Black and brown community, and that's the problem. James Baldwin did wonders for the Black community,
You know
but
what?
ignorant people like your last caller,
one of the most
like with this
eloquent
town, all-
orators of Black existence in, you know, up
Langston
until he
Hughes,
died.
like my favorite guy in the world.
Yeah.
Right? It was the game then. And so it's ignorant people like that who benefited from the struggles of and the fight of LGBTQ plus folks, but then you shit on them at the same time. And so for those people, as opposed to cursing you out and laying hands on you, because I grew up in Bridgeton, right? So I understand the hands. I would rather pray for your soul because you, my friend, are going to go to hell way before I do. Because God got me in every sense of the word. And so when we go back to the other caller, we talk about like Black folks can come together. This is the type of shit that keeps us from not being able to come together. We don't respect each other. We don't love each other for humans as humans. So you would rather love somebody else, right? Because they're living what you call a natural lifestyle. Living and loving others as Christ would want us to love is natural. Love is love. And that's just it. And so for all those people who think otherwise, I will continue to pray for your soul because you're going to burn in hell way before I do.
Get him. That's, man, you know what? Yeah, I'm so glad we had this. I know that the caller called in, but I'm glad that, you know, you took his call because anybody out there that's listening, who agree with the sentiments of the gentleman that called earlier, I hope that you're getting a little education, perspective, and insight from, you know, one of the smartest, most amazing people that I know. Straight up. And you've always been that way, Dr. Wright. Really. You've really always been that way.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
And like really, like you inspire me. You definitely do inspire me. Straight up, universal type shit.
I appreciate you, brother.
We appreciate you for calling in, blessing us with your expertise, just taking out the time. I really appreciate you coming on. I thought it was we got a classic right here. I know. Right now we only got we do. I'm getting close to 50, guys. I got damn near 50 strong ass subscribers out there. Guys, remember on live on Thursdays we call in 313-825-5557. Also watch our show leading up to the lives, but yeah, they're out there and I'm pretty sure as I keep going, people will come back and look at this episode. Yo, I have a cousin that does digital archaeology. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get her up on the show to talk about that because I know it has to be something about, you know, saving memes and making sure, you know, when they try to wipe the internet of stuff, you can't find those certain videos anymore, like 2 Girls 1 Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see if she can track down two girls 1 cup for us. Not just reaction videos of it.
Don't revive that.
That was disgusting. That was disgusting. But yeah, amazing. All right, you gave us a beautiful monologue on the way out. I don't think that you were expecting to give that speech on the way out. Did you have anything else you wanted to say to our guests and listeners out there?
Nah, I think I mic dropped on that last thing right there.
You mic dropped? Well, hold on.
Yeah,
the microphone rewound and it's back in your hand real quick. For you to drop it again. Like, I don't want to end it on like a message of you having to fight haters or someone that, you know, is.
Yeah, no,
you know.
I mean, but that's that's my life. I mean, I just say to people, right? Like, one, before we start speaking on stuff that we really don't know anything about, like, do your research and don't just do it from one lens. Look at multiple lenses so that you have a holistic view, right? So we talk about Deion Sanders and why he did what he did. Like, let's sit back and watch what Primetime does, because who knows what he's going to do with that money that he's getting from Colorado, right?
Right.
Who knows how he's still going to, like, push and support HBCUs. And he's done more for HBCUs than a lot of people, in a long period of time. So we have to understand that, elevation for folks come, and we should want elevation for one another. When one of us prospers, we all prosper, really, if that person is really about the culture. Glad Brittany Griner is out. And again, man, like, just love one another, right? Like, there's enough pain in the world. We don't need to keep adding to it. Like, you don't know what is hidden behind someone's smile, right? Like, I could be smiling at you and I could be hurting inside. Like, so let's bring a little bit more kindness to the world, bring a little bit more love and understanding. And, if you're a bigot, like, be quiet. That's it.
Mike has dropped again. I know I got a sound effect for that. It's like, that's how I sound, right?
Yeah.
I'm giving you guys that beautiful outro music. You already know. Me episodes. Your host, Mo 3 times. Today, our guest, Dr. Stephanie M. White. I want to give you, like, one of those. I'm getting it together. Guys, thanks for watching. Talking shit, getting clicks. We drop an episode every Thursday. We go live every Thursday night. You can definitely call in and be a part of the conversation. 313-825-5557. Peace out.